Hi there, welcome back to the Broken Farm. My name is BJ and it has been a couple months since I've done a video. That right there is Hammer, our rooster, and he is just learning how to crow. So I love it. It's so funny that he's just now starting to as I'm out here videoing. But anyways, it's been a couple months since I've done a video, mostly because I guess I felt like we haven't done anything major to the farm, but there have been a few changes here. And part of the reason for no major changes is because Shawn, I guess Hammer really wants to talk to you all today. Shawn and I are kind of at a stale, no, not stale. We're at a, we're kind of stuck. I guess that's the best way to say it. We're stuck. We're stuck on exactly what we want to do here on the farm. We have come across a few things as we've been working and updating and just getting into, what's the right word? I guess making the farm better because, I'm sorry, but these animals around me are just, they're so distracting. You can see my chickens around me, and then Harley is right in front of me. I'm looking at her, and she's actually in her pen right now because a week ago tomorrow she was spayed. So she's still in kind of like the timeout, freezing, not freezing. Okay, chicken just jumped up on my arm. She's in the timeout, like, healing phase. Y'all are silly. Do not peck my teeth or my eyes. Okay. She is in the healing phase. Okay. She's in the healing phase of her surgery. So I'm so scared that my chicken is going to peck my eyes because they've done it before. It's been a while since I've sat down in this chair, and when I do, they love to jump up and come and say hi to me. Anyways, she's healing, so she's like right there, probably wondering who I'm talking to. Okay, so I've been totally distracted, and I'm sorry. Let me get back to what's been happening on the farm. As you can tell, our animals are getting larger. Harley and Maverick have gotten bigger. Harley and Maverick are both just a little over 6 months old now. And we still have our 13 chickens. And Shawn and I know that in the spring, we want to get some more chickens, and he really wants us to get some ducks. So that's on the agenda. He actually said something the other day about getting another dog. I don't know. I don't know if that's really going to happen or not. But anyways, all the animals are doing good, and we have done some things to the inside of the house. The major obstacles have been that as we are working towards doing improvements, we're running into a lot of things with the house that are kind of, it's like we feel like we're at a threshold where we really need to make a decision about, are we really going to renovate this house? Or, and Shawn has brought this up several times, are we going to demo the house and start new? And I know he's brought that up several times, and honestly, I do not want that at all. So I really don't think that's what we're going to do. He really doesn't want it either. I'm so sorry. Harley is just, she's beside herself. Let me go to a different spot and I'll pick this up. Okay, now I'm out here on the front porch. I don't know if this is going to be any better, but we'll see. Maverick's out here with me. Anyways, part of the problem that we've run into with doing any renovations to the house is that the house was built in 1925, so it's pretty old, and what we're coming across by, tearing things down and cleaning things out is that a lot of stuff, in fact, everything, is crooked. The foundation has cracks in it. The foundation could be repaired, but the floors are all sagging in different areas. And so unless you level out or start at the bottom of the basement and secure the foundation, level out the floors, it's really not a good idea, obviously, to do any renovation above, because any renovations that you do will be crooked when you eventually fix the floor. So what we're coming across again is design and figuring out exactly what we want these rooms to look like and what we want to eventually do with this place. I know I've talked many times that Shawn and I have changed our minds several times about our direction with this farmhouse, and we're still there. We still haven't just completely made up our mind. I think I am more what's the right word? I'm more convinced that I want to renovate this place. I don't want to tear it down, but renovating it is still difficult for those obvious reasons. Boards are crooked, floors are crooked, boards are old, and Shawn, you know, he's very particular. He wants things done right. He wants things done straight. And when he goes to build something, it's hard to put straight on top of crooked. So, and he's very OCD. So it blocks him. It keeps him from doing anything because he can't wrap his mind around it. And then he's not exactly sure, okay, should I just rip everything out and build it from new? So that's kind of where we are. And that's kind of why there haven't been a whole lot of actual changes made inside the house. But I'm about ready to take you inside. I'm not going to show you every room because, you know, there are still 4 of us living here, and with not a lot of space, it's pretty cramped and can get cluttery and disorganized. So I won't show you the girls' room because I don't even like to look at the girls' room. And our front room, there's not really been any changes to it at all, so there's not really anything to show. I'll show you the kitchen, and I'll show you upstairs and the back area. If you've watched any of our other videos, that's where our toilet area is. We still don't have a full bathroom, and when we get back there, I'll show you and kind of explain why and tell you what we believe is next on our list as far as what we're going to work on inside the house. So let's go inside and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, coming into the kitchen here, we have rearranged a few things since the last time I've done any videoing. My kitchen table is a mess right now, and to be honest, it looks like this most days, and that kind of drives me crazy. But the reality of it is, this is my kitchen table, but it's also my counter. And so I don't have any space to keep any of these things, and so it looks like this most days. I'm trying to, as soon as I get it cleaned off, then somebody comes home or somebody does something and it piles up again. So anyways, that is what it is right now. But if you watched any of our last videos, I think the last time that we did any videoing, our refrigerator was actually over here. Now, if you're new and you haven't seen any of these videos before, this was obviously a fireplace. And when we purchased the house, there was furniture inside of this house, and there were all sorts of things. There was a gentleman that lived here, and he passed away, and so all of his furniture was still in the house. The company, it was actually an investment company that owned the house. They sold the contents of the house. Now, I don't know exactly who they sold it to. Someone told us that whoever they sold it to was a relative of the guy that lived in the house, but I'm not really entirely sure. So anyways, the contents of the house did not go with the house when it was sold. We knew that up front. And so after the home was sold, and while we were waiting to close on it, the people that had purchased the contents of the house, they came and they took the things out of the house. They were supposed to leave anything that was attached to the house, including the mantle that went over this fireplace, but they ripped it off the wall. And it was the nicest mantle that we had in the house, and we were really upset about it. But we asked them to bring it back, but they were already gone. So anyways, that's why the mantle looks like that. And we have the refrigerator in front of this, so you really didn't see it that much. But we obviously need heat because winter is coming. And so we bought this propane heater right here, and it fits perfectly in the fireplace hole. So it is propane, and we've got a remote and a thermostat to it, and we can just turn it on whenever we need to heat this room up, and it works really, really well. This is right now the only heater that we have in the house. So we're working towards getting some additional heat sources for the other rooms in the house. But so far, this has done pretty much what we've needed it to do. The other thing that we had here was we had a counter, like a metal table. And this little table really was not supposed to be here permanently. I bought it because I needed something like, I've got my digital canner behind all this Halloween candy. I've got my digital canner there, and I intentionally bought this little table because I knew it would fit here, and the intent was take it out, put the counter on it when I'm using it, and then put it away. And because again, I have no counter space, this has kind of become part of my counter, and so it really has not been put away. So again, just little things that were living and growing, and, you know, growing pains and whatnot. So that's how our refrigerator ended up over here. Now this, which was our TV hutch, has now become part of our kitchen. It was over that way more, and we slid it down so we have room to open the refrigerator. And now it kind of is like the only other counter that I have. So I've got to keep some of my appliances on this counter. And so that's what this is for. Our shelves over here with our dishes and my spices and, you know, kind of like dishes and stuff, whatnot, are here still. That hasn't changed. So let me take you out this door. Now, one of the things that Shawn has told me, and he's kind of promised me, is one of the next items is to get a kitchen sink in here. Because, and I'll explain to you, you know, obviously it's not convenient to not have a kitchen sink in here, but it's really not convenient when you have two doors you have to go through. But I'll explain more about that later. But our quandary, my questioning is, where do I put it? Ideally, and since we even moved this room and made this the kitchen, I've said I wanted my kitchen sink in front of that window. But our problem is this window, it goes pretty low. Like this is, well, there's Harley out there. This goes down pretty deep, and so we're blocking a lot of the window with this cabinet. So I had told Shawn, well, eventually I want to get a bigger square window, and obviously it would be high enough that we can put a sink there. But the problem with doing that is, obviously, if we're going to take out a window and put a different size window in there, we're going to have, you know, missing siding on the outside, and we're not in a position where we're ready to side the house yet. So that's one of the problems. If we put a sink in, obviously we're going to need to have some sort of cabinet to hold the sink. So that's another issue. Shawn had brought up that he could put an island in here, that he could, you know, we could move this table either over or out. I think it would have to come out. I think that's what he said too. And replace it with an island, and he said he could put the sink in the island. But I don't really want a sink in the island because of this reason right here. If I'm going to have a countertop island right there, I want it to be able to be used. And if I have a sink in it, then much of the counter space is going to be used by a sink. So that's my reasoning for not wanting an island with a sink in it. So that's why we're stuck right now on the sink. And then obviously if we get a sink, this has to go away, or wherever we put it, and we just don't have any space. So again, our ultimate plan is to, when we do get to really remodeling this kitchen, this wall will come out and the kitchen will move in there, and this table will go in there. But that is only going to happen once we don't need the bedroom that's over there, sorry, to be the girls' bedroom. So I know I'm kind of rambling on. Let me take you in here and show you this back room that really still hasn't had anything done to it. So when I go through with dishes, I have to open this door. Coco is not allowed back here because she likes to just pee and poop back here. So we have to keep this door closed. And then this door we keep closed now too, because this is the construction room and it's not insulated. So especially now that the weather's getting colder, it's cold in this area. So we want to keep these two doors closed because we can keep the heat in. So we can keep the heat in here if this door stays closed. And our laundry room back there, which is where our bathroom is, we can keep the heat in if we keep these doors closed. So what that means is when I'm carrying dishes or cooking or anything like that, I have to open two doors to be able to get to a sink. And when you're carrying a pot of water or something like that, it's not convenient. Okay, all right, on with my video. So this is our back room. And if you have followed along with us at all, this ultimately back here is gonna be our bathroom. The bucket is there because there's a hole in the ceiling and it rained a couple days ago. And so we put the bucket there to catch the rain. And so it never got moved. This right here, there's our toilet. That's where our toilet lives right now. And this is now my makeshift closet with my wardrobe boxes, because I'll show you why they're not upstairs anymore. This was our air conditioner that we used in the kitchen during the summer, which we don't need anymore. So it's being stored out here. All of this right here is actually my stepson's furniture. This is Christian's furniture. Christian is actually moving here. He was supposed to actually be here now, but change of plans. Now he's coming in the middle of December and he's moving in with us. So, sorry about the stain. I know that's gross, but everyone's bed's like that, right? He's moving in here in December and he's 20 years old. He's in college. The reason why he's moving in is because he was living with his mother back in Georgia, which is where we moved from. And she and her husband just recently moved to Japan. So he needed to find, where he was going to live. And like I told Shawn, and, Shawn and I both, we like our kids near us. So that's why Christian is coming to live with us. So we've got to fit another person in here. So now I'm taking you into our laundry room. And this is where that shelf lives that was in the kitchen. And it houses more of my appliances that I have no place for. And over here, this kind of work table area always gets stuff put on it. This is an empty box. I ordered some meat from Butcher Box and it came the other day and I still have to take care of this empty box. There's our big freezer, and then we had to buy another freezer. If you watched any of our other videos, we had a different freezer out here and it broke on us. So we ordered a new freezer and this came a couple weeks ago. So it's nice that it's working now. Our generator there, Shawn has told me it's going to be moved into the other room, but it hasn't gone anywhere yet. But there's our shower and our sink. So that's the only sink that we have. So it's our kitchen sink and our bathroom sink. And I'm trying to think if there's anything I know Shawn has worked on. If you watched any of our other videos, this hole right here for the laundry hookups, it was atrocious. We had somebody do it way back when we first, kind of bought the house. They came in to do some repairs. We asked them to hook up the washer and dryer and they cut like the jaggiest, ricketiest hole ever. And we've been staring at it ever since. And last week, Shawn was like, I'm finally going to take care of that. So he finally rigged it up and it looks much better than it did, even though it's patched. Okay, so this is, like I said, this is kind of what we've been dealing with. And believe it or not, this doesn't bother us. I mean, it might bother my girls. I know that they get irritated with it from time to time, but Shawn and I were just talking yesterday about how, it's annoying for me with cooking, but this whole, like this being our whole like bathroom setup and kitchen setup, it's fine because again, it's functioning. But let me take you back out here and show you again just what the walls and behind everything looks like. this doesn't look quite so bad. Okay, we could live with this stuff behind the walls, I think anyway. Shawn might tell you something different. But when you come down here and you look up, I don't even know if you can see it because of the light, but you can just see how old and rotted those boards are right there. And so, you know, if we cover it up, Shawn and I both know that it's back there. That's where he's having a lot of trouble. A lot of, you know, he's trying to work his brain around how can we fix this house in such a way that it's done right and it doesn't just completely drive him nuts that, you know, this stuff is back here. Let me take you upstairs and show you the room that we have kind of been working on, and I'll explain more when I get up there. Okay, here we are going upstairs, and there's still no light up here, but if you watch any of our other videos, this was all storage area up here. This whole room was filled. This is still filled right here. I've kind of been, you know, slowly going through stuff and trying to eliminate stuff because I know this looks like a lot, but if you know anything about our situation, our house that we moved from was, I think it was close to 4 times as big as this house. And so we had a lot of extra stuff. So we're working on getting rid of some things, but it's just time consuming. And this room we recently cleared out because this is going to be where Christian, our son, is going to live. And so Shawn took the ceiling down. It was, what do you call it? It was like beadboard ceiling, and it was just old. And of course, when he took it down, I mean, there was just oodles and oodles of insulation and rodent feces and all that kind of stuff up here, which is what we found in all of the house. So that was nothing new to us. But this is kind of where he's at. He's run some electrical because there was no electricity up here. He has it rigged so he can put in a light fixture or a ceiling fan or something there. He's run the wire back here to be able to put in an outlet right there because, again, if this is going to be a bedroom, you know, he's going to need to plug in some things. So there'll be an outlet there, and there will be an outlet there. But again, in order for him to start working in here, he was like, well, if the basement, if the floors are all sagging, if I start, you know, renovating and putting up new siding and putting up, you know, anything up here, it's all going to be crooked once we level everything out. So when he came up here and he tore stuff down, his next job was to go down into the basement and try to jack up the floors. So he has been going down there and kind of jacking them up a little bit more every time, but this room has not been touched since we did clean out. This used to be a shelf, and he tore the shelf out because he wanted to be able to get back in there and clean all of that out. Bailey had the not so fun job one day of getting into this area and vacuuming it all out because it was full of just crap. So that's kind of where we are with this room. You know, the doorway, it was a lot lower than that, and Shawn opened it up more to be able to fit an actual door because it was too small to fit a door. But that's kind of where we are. And like me just walking here, you can tell that the floor is warped. There's a hill in the middle, and then it goes down on the sides. So all of that is stuff that he's going to need to do. And as much as I would love to keep walls like this all throughout the house, the reality of it is we have so many bugs and spiders and rodents. I didn't video the mouse trap down here, but we have so many mice in this house and bugs and stink bugs that come in because of all the holes in the walls that we really just are at the point where we just want to close them up, cover it up to keep some of that out. And we haven't figured out how to do it with still keeping some of this character showing because there's so many gaps between all the boards that I just don't know how you can do it and keep all those things from climbing in the house. So if that explains a little bit of why I haven't done any videoing or why we haven't done a whole lot to the house, then that's kind of where we've been. I don't, like I said, I really don't want to tear this place down and start from new. It has too much character for me, and I just really like this house, but we have a lot of fixing to do before we can get it to the point where we're really ready to really fix it up and put new stuff in here, because there's so much old stuff that we've got to either fix or replace before we can start paneling the walls or redoing the floors or anything like that. So I hope that it's, you know, my talk has not been too in a circle, and you kind of get an idea of what's been holding us up and why we haven't done any more. We have not just not worked. I mean, there was a couple weeks that Shawn was not feeling well. I know I still am not 100%. Just, you know, cold, and I don't know if it's flu or whatnot, but for the most part, we are still doing stuff just about every day. You know, little stuff from putting in lights, not really putting in lights, but I say that because I was thinking about this floodlight right here. Shawn still has a ladder up there. That floodlight, you know, he had put in, it's a motion sensor light that shines on the chicken coop at night. He had put it in, and then it started flickering and kind of giving us like the whole disco vibe. So he had to, you know, spend a couple nights to fix that. He also, you know, when he's working, he doesn't get home until it's already dark. So it's hard for him to work during the weekdays. But this weekend, I believe we're supposed to get rain, I think on Sunday. I'm hoping it's Sunday and not Saturday. But I know that our garden has been done. And so we want to kind of tear it all out, everything that we had last year. And he's going to grab his tractor, and we're going to kind of plow or till the land and get it. Our plan is we are going to build a fence around the garden area, and we're going to do some raised beds in there. So we've got a lot of prep work to do for the garden for next year. I proved to Shawn that I can grow things. So now he wants to help me to make our garden bigger and better next year. So if we have a clear day this weekend, I think that's on the plan, is to work in the garden this weekend. If we have rain, like I said, I know that we'll do stuff inside. I've been doing a lot of things inside, like food preservation, cooking. And so I don't know, you know, I'll turn the camera on for sure this weekend, and I will show you what we're doing. But it might not be all home improvement or farm improvement. It might be a mix of things. So I hope that this video kind of shed a little bit of light on what we have been doing here. We're getting better at things in general. Like I said, you know, the animals have been doing well. We are learning more and more about how to take care of them. And tomorrow is the day that Harley gets set free. So I'm excited for that. I think she would be excited if she understood, but she'll be able to have her collar taken off, and I think I'll be able to, my plan is when I get home from work tomorrow to let her run free, get her out of that pen, take the collar off, and let her be a dog again. So that's my plan. I hope this video was helpful. And like I said, I will be sure to do more videoing this weekend and kind of show you what we do get into this weekend on the farm. All right, thanks for watching, and take care.